Hey, you guys.
What's up?
What's going on? So we have episode 8, Game of Thrones season 5 tonight. And also we have reaction review for this episode going on. Well, by the way, this is a spoiler review. So if anybody didn't see the episode, watch the episode, then watch our review, please. So the whole thing with the White Walkers attacking, that's what basically our reaction review is about. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first scene in this episode was Tyrion talking with Daenerys. Yes. And the whole thing with Daenerys trying to see, do I really want Tyrion on my side? Can I trust him?
The whole thing was brilliant.
It was great.
I loved it.
He went and talked about, because of course Tyrion heard stories about her family and everything, so he gave her her whole history, and she was, I think, amazed by all of that.
His wittiness, I'm just glad that his intelligence, his intellect was introduced to her at such a time of need, especially for an advisor. I think he'd make a great advisor. In fact, I know he will. It's Tyrion, for goodness sakes.
Exactly.
He's everything.
He's brilliant. I mean, he thinks about all types of scenarios. And they got to the point where she's like, I'm not going to kill him. He saved Jorah. He didn't want Jorah dead. But to get her trust, he couldn't just fully say that you should keep Jorah by your side. So he had to...
Bro, George stayed just getting like he intervened with something and thought he was gonna get in, and he still got sent right back out. Only now his grayscale is. I'm like, bro, your friend zone life just sucks right now. Like, seriously,
he's got it hard right now.
It's terrible, but he's determined. He's adamant. He's very adamant.
He's still determined, as we saw in the episode, to try to get back there. So she said that she's not gonna kill Tyrion. He talked with her enough and just gave her all his wit, charm, and everything that Tyrion is great at. And
it's a brilliant character.
That convinced her, like he's great. And he saw you can tell he's sincere. So we had that whole situation. I think that was one of the greatest.
It was actually one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, especially a scene that's not just fighting. It's just a talking scene. It was a great talking scene.
Right.
Because there was a lot happening there. And so we had the next scene, Arya, of course, she's still in her training. She tried to assassinate this guy, or she was in the process of doing that, and that they didn't finish that whole thing. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, basically, she's just training right now, and it's just cool because I think her story, not this season, but next season, is going to get very interesting once she really masters all the skills that she's learning.
Things are looking up.
Yeah. Arya's getting there. So the next scene, of course, one of my favorites, Cersei.
Revenge!
We've been waiting for many seasons to see Cersei suffer like this.
Yes.
And this suffering is like, it's great. She's still talking like, what I told you before still stands. And the lady just slapped her like, shut up, I don't care what you say.
That lady has a name. Her name is Olga. The 9-foot nun that's trying to get some act right out of Cersei. Her entire looks just exudes Olga.
It's like, confess. Just confess. And Cersei...
Confess, pop.
She popped her hand. I loved it.
It's wonderful.
She screamed. She was like, I hate this. Then they had Sansa, the whole scene. I love that scene too. She expressed, because I didn't see too much of how she felt about her whole family getting wiped out. Of course, we know how painful that is for her, but she really got to express just how
her possible family killer.
Somebody she can actually put some of the blame on, because Reek Theon at the time really started a lot of that by betraying Rob, and I like seeing Theon admit to that whole thing,
like
apologize, the remorse he felt for, because he did a lot. And of course, we got the big news that we knew, but Sansa didn't know, that her brothers, 2 of her brothers at least, Bran and Rickon, are still alive. So that was very big news for her.
And you saw all the color just leave her face. She's already pale, but she was just like...
Yeah, she was
what?
Like,
she was freaking disoriented for a minute. What? Like,
Alive? Really? She wanted to know immediately, do you know where they went? Do you know where my brothers are? Because that's pretty much some of her only family that she knows of. So she wants to at least keep track and see where they might be. Mm-hmm. And they show them planning the whole war, what the Boltons are thinking. At least Roose Bolton is thinking that he wants to just stay in kind of a more defensive strategy and use the snow in their castle to their advantage, because they're northerners, so they're more used to being in the elements of snow.
Right.
And so they think that they'll be their advantage. Of course, Ramsay crazy tale, he just wants to get out there.
Let him. Please let him.
I hope he does that, and I hope he gets his head chopped off in the meantime. And I hope, actually, while he's fighting, that Brienne comes and...
Exactly. I'm waiting for her like, oh, there's the little dwarf. Wait, not a dwarf, but he's minuscule.
I've been looking for you. And so, that whole thing, they're still building up. I thought by this point they would have had to fight, but I guess that's going to be saved maybe for the finale, or if it happens this season, or maybe next season. We'll see. And so we saw more Cersei suffering. Yay!
Wonderful. And she actually had to drink the water off the floor.
Yeah, she must have been thirsty, because she's so stubborn though. She's so prideful. She won't let go of it. She's so prideful that she just...
Her uncle's here, and he's still just like, I don't want to see her. Mm-hmm. She's getting concerned because Tommen is going through...
He's going through some hard times.
He's having tough
That's
time.
really probably the last thing she wants to hear when she can't even see him. Mm-hmm. That's like her only child that she's seen in a while, of course, besides her daughter. So, and then Jaime, he's, of course, got a whole situation he's dealing with. He ain't got time to go help Cersei. And so things are not looking great for the Queen Mother. The Cersei ride. The main scene, the
meeting of the
climax of the whole episode,
when basically
was I didn't know this. Yeah, I didn't.
It
know
was
this.
Unexpected for me, but I thought it was just going to be an all-out fight amongst Jon Snow and the wildlings, and you know what I'm saying, who they are trying to get. Everybody trying to come together so they could face the White Walkers, but there was a so-called avalanche. Now. Yeah.
Now, I thought this was just an avalanche that they got over. But Jared called it right.
I was like, that ain't no avalanche. That's not no basic avalanche. You already know that's the how can you put it? The atmosphere, the introduction smog for the White Walkers. Mm-hmm. I already called it. I was like, it's happening. It's happening. They got a lot of people there. It's about to go down.
And crazy thing, they were just talking,
about
this is coming to us. We got to get together. We got to focus on fighting this. And who would have thought that on this episode? Y'all talking. Y'all pretty much called us to come in there because we coming right there while y'all talking.
This is 28 days later, 28 weeks later. Resident Evil, freaking Walking Dead, and World War Z. The way these White Walkers are crammed in Game of Thrones style. Those things are like parasites.
Yeah.
It was intense.
Crazy.
It was
because they were fast. I was just like, there's so much going on. The difference about the other zombie shows that we watch, these things got weapons.
They have skill. They have battle tendencies.
They dodge. They're not just mindless things that you can just slash. They are trying to win.
They trying to freaking just slaughter. It's a slaughterhouse. That was all it was. They cutting people up, eating on them and stuff. Even the children,
them children were horrifying.
That's even worse. With the White Walkers, of course, you know what I'm saying. The more corpse that's there, the White Walker King has to do is just. Well, basically, they become White Walkers, making their ranks even larger and stuff. So that was even more horrifying. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Jon Snow. I was biting my nails.
I thought Jon Snow was about to meet the Snow right quick. Yeah, I was just like,
I don't have time for this.
Especially Jon Snow. He's one of the best characters.
He's one of my favorite. Yeah.
So I'm glad he was able to make it through and beat that boss White Walker guy.
The White Merlin.
I mean, they had the giant. The giant was working. He probably took out about 100 by himself.
He was the crowd control.
Like roaches, hitting him with this big old stick,
Flaming,
throwing him off his back like a bunch of bugs. Like, get off me, y'all! Y'all just annoying.
It was so dope. And then the White Walker King. What is his name?
I don't even know what his name is, but he looked at Jon Snow. He was
looking from afar like, wow.
I see. You got some skills. I see you.
Exactly.
So we about to fight. See, you think, Lord Commander Jon Snow, you think that you're the most skilled one around? You just wait till you fight me.
Well then.
He wants to fight you.
A formidable foe in the human ranks. I cannot wait to make you a slave, one of my top warriors in the White Walker army of mine.
You should be a general in the new army that I'm leading.
That's what he was. It wasn't a look of this. He was. It was like a look of. He wants him on his side, looking like. And when the fight pretty much was over and Jon Snow and his crew was sailing off, the king was walking amongst the slaughter, and he stepped at the end of the docks, and he was like, "Behold my power." And he lifted his hand, and the freaking people, all the wildlings and people that he killed, suddenly just
raised up.
They arose.
Like this is a sample of my
This is
power.
what you're dealing with. This is what, if you fight me in this war, know that every foe that every ally that you lose to me becomes on my side.
So it's just like that's really hard. Like, you have to keep your people alive, because if they die in front of me, you have even more to fight. It's like it can be a never-ending battle.
Like, seriously,
they can just keep.
So they're going to need some fire.
Come on, Daenerys, with your dragons, burn them up.
Fire, baby.
So the episode, this is a great episode. Probably, I would say that this is maybe in the top 2 or 3 favorites of this season so far. So we'll see what happens next week, guys. Thank you for watching our video, our review. Leave a comment, like this video, and please subscribe to my channel. And like I mentioned before, we had that reaction review, so please check it out. It should be entertaining. All right, peace out.